I've been writing a ton of reviews for gymcrafter.com lately. And in those reviews, what I typically try and list is the things that I like, the things that I wish were different, and then the true judge of a good piece of gear or not is, would I buy it again? But there's a few products lately that have kind of confused me when I'm writing up these reviews. They're things that I really, really like. I mean, I enjoy them, I like having them. But when it comes time to answer the question of would I buy them again, the answer that surprised me was no. So in today's video, what I want to talk about are 4 of the products that I own in this gym that I actually really like, but if it came down to it, I wouldn't buy them again. Hey everybody, I'm Tim with gymcrafter.com. If you're out there with a home gym, you're building a home gym, or you just want a couple of tips and tricks to make your gym a better place to be, you are in the right place. Let's start by getting you subscribed. Click the subscribe button down below. Make sure and click that bell so that you know every time I put out a new video. So the first piece of gear I want to talk about falls under the category of you don't need to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of things out there in the world of fitness that are just fine the way that they are, and we don't need a new fancy or different version of it, because those new fancy different versions don't necessarily work any better than the originals. And the product that falls into that category for me are these collars. These are OSO collars or OSO collars. I did a review of these versus the lockjaw collars a while back. I'll put a link up here. But when I first got these, I thought they were so cool. They're aluminum, they look neat, they're available in a bunch of different colors. I really like the way the lever mechanism works. I really like these collars a lot. And I used them for the first year that I had them. But when I look around my gym and I realize what I actually use on a day-to-day basis when I train, for the last almost 2 years, even though these are within reach, I've reached for my trusty lockjaw collars every single workout for the last couple of years. I actually like these better. I like the way they open and close better. I think they sit on the bar just as nice as these do. The fact that they're plastic, they don't damage the weights that are up against it. And they're a lot less money. So when I look at things, and if I had to do things over again, are these great? Yeah, I love these collars. But if I had to buy everything over again, I'd just buy a set of lockjaws and move on. I'll put a link below to the lockjaw collars for you. There's a lot of knockoffs out there on Amazon and other places. Don't go for the cheap ones. I fell for that. Those break pretty quickly. Stick to the lockjaw brand. But again, not expensive to start off with. So the first thing that I look at that I love that I wouldn't buy again, these guys. Instead, buy these. Let's take a look at the other ones. You know, there's a lot of things in life that I spent a lot of money on because they were nice. And after I bought them, I realized that I didn't need them. They didn't really fit my life. I learned that lesson the hard way with sports cars and big lifted trucks and expensive camera lenses and a bunch of other stuff that are great things in their own right. They're just not things that I need or would use. And this barbell fits in that category. This is the Rep Fitness Stainless Steel Power Bar EX. This is their aggressive knurl stainless steel power bar. And this is a great bar. This is quite possibly the best barbell that Rep Fitness makes. It's just not for me. I was so excited when I bought this. I took it, in fact, I look at it all the time. I want to lift with it all the time, and I guess I could, but when it comes time to come in here and train, I reach for their standard stainless steel power bar instead. And there's a few different reasons for that. Number one, for me, I don't think I lift heavy enough to warrant an aggressive knurl bar. I think folks who maybe lift heavier might make use of this bar a little bit more than I would. I don't really get sweaty hands too much, so grip's never been an issue for me. And honestly, the grip from the knurl pattern on the standard stainless steel power bar works great for me, even on heavy deadlifts. So again, not a big reason for this. You know, I've got decent calluses on my hands, but this bar's still not the most comfortable bar to lift with for me. I think I need another layer of callus to make this work great. So for those reasons, as much as I love this bar, if I had to start all over again, I wouldn't buy this bar. You know, I'll post a review pretty soon of this bar and then I'll probably sell it. And again, this is an amazingly good bar for those of you out there who want something with an aggressive knurl. It's just not an amazingly good bar for me. Let's look at the third thing. There's a lot of things when it comes to building a home gym that fall into the category of overkill. They're things that are just way more than you need, but they're nice and you buy them anyway. I mean, there's whole companies that exist for that reason. They're just overkill. They're more than you need, but people love them and they buy them anyway. And that's the category that my bumper plates fall into. I really, really love these bumper plates. And I love these specific bumper plates. These Fringe Sport bumper plates have treated me really, really well. But I don't need bumpers. Quite honestly, I don't do CrossFit. I don't do Olympic lifting. I almost never drop a loaded barbell to the floor. I have almost no reason to have bumper plates. And in fact, when I lift, a lot of times I find myself wishing that I had more plates like these. These are just nice urethane coated standard plates. They've got handles, which the bumpers don't have. You can fit more of these on a bar. They're a little nicer looking. They're just something that I wish I had. And if I had to buy plates all over again, I would probably buy a set of these. That said, there is a pretty good reason to have bumper plates even though you don't need them. They make you feel like you're lifting more than you actually are. And I'm firmly convinced that all the folks that you see out there on YouTube and Instagram that lift with bumpers, that's a big reason of why they do it, is it just looks like you have more on the bar than you actually do. You know, a 25-pound bumper plate looks impressive. A 25-pound plate like this, it's this little dinky thing that sits on your bar. So there's some good things about bumper plates, but I think I'm over that at this point. And like I said, if I had to build my gym over again, I would probably buy a standard set of plates and not bumpers. Now, let's look at the last and by far the most painful one for me to admit, because I really love these things. All right, like I said, this one really hurts. Under this towel are some of the things that I've owned the longest of any of the things in my gym. I've used them the most by far of any of the things in my gym. I still use a couple of these at least once a week, if not 3 or 4 times a week to this day. And even with all that said, if I had to build my gym from scratch again, I probably wouldn't spend the money on them. And that's these guys. These are the Onnit Primal Bells, and they're awesome. Not only because I love monkeys, but because they're awesome. It's a kettlebell shaped like a gorilla. Come on, right? This chimp and this orangutan in me have been through some stuff. I spent months just doing Turkish get-ups with these guys, just doing swings with these guys. I still do swings at least once or twice a week with this big guy back here. This guy will kick your butt. I've swore at these guys. I've yelled at them. They've motivated me to work out. But there's a few things about them that just make me not want to buy them again. Number one, as cool as they are, and they are worth the cool factor. If you're looking for cool kettlebells for your gym, they're really cool. So if you're looking for the cool factor, these are great. If you're looking for reasonably priced functional kettlebells, these fall down in a couple of different areas. Number one, I bought these when they first introduced them to the market. And since then, they've changed the design. So if I want to buy a second monkey, if I want to buy a second orangutan, the handle styles and shapes are completely different and they don't match. And that doesn't necessarily make for a good set of kettlebells. Another thing is if you look on the back, while the back is shaped like a regular kettlebell, the front is not. So when you're racking these things, you've got to make sure that this is the part that sits against your wrist. You can't do some things without turning it around, and that gets in the way of some kettlebell workouts. I like to do a lot of goblet squats. The design of these isn't conducive to holding them that way. The ears or the side pieces get in the way and poke you in the hand. So I can't use them for a lot of the movements that I use my kettlebells for. And quite honestly, as much as I use kettlebells, and as much as I try and use these whenever I can, I end up using my Rep Fitness or Kettlebell Kings kettlebells a lot more often than I use these. And for that reason, if I was building my gym again, as much as I would miss having this chimp, as much as I would miss having this gorilla, I probably wouldn't buy them again. Now, don't let me talk you out of these. Again, cool factor, I think it's just awesome to have a couple of these sitting in your gym. And of all the things that I've talked about today, if I was gonna go back on what I just said and buy some, I might buy this guy right here, at least this gorilla, because for swings, you know, nice heavy kettlebell, if I'm only gonna use it for that, that's great, but I don't know. Again, the heavy bells from Rep Fitness and from Kettlebell Kings are better, at least functionally speaking. So there you have it. Drop in the comments, let me know some things that you guys have that you bought that you love, but probably wouldn't buy again. I'm always interested to hear what you guys are doing out there. I appreciate the feedback, I appreciate the comments. And until next time, when we get back with more tips, tricks, and how-tos and how to make your gym a better place, I'm Tim with Gym Crafter.